Syracuse University's magazine journalism and English programs, she grew up in Cranston, Rhode Island. As a bass player and improv student, she's performed at the Blue Note and the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. And if you get a chance, you should check out her really cool website, levelterraceapartmentbook.com, for all kinds of extras like her characters playlist and a link to the book's very own YouTube channel. But actually, I made a mistake because she just told me, I forgot, right before the show, that she wasn't really going to make it. And she has a stand-in. Ben Reardon, one of the characters of Level Terrace Apart. Please give a warm welcome to Sarah Rainone.
So I'm Ben Reardon. I was going to read one of my hilarious anecdotes from the book, but I am a Red Sox fan, so I'm currently in mourning. And I'm in New York, which is really not making me happy. But anyway, I love Sarah, so I was like, all right, I'll do it. So this story takes place in the past. I'm at my best friend's wedding, right? And Tony Bennett is playing. Tony Bennett's on at the wedding, and I'm like, fuck that. So I go outside to go spark a fill, and it turns out the limo driver is down. So he and I start smoking together, and I asked him, can I put on a CD? So I put on a CD of this song, My Mind Is Playing Tricks on Me by the Ghetto Boys, and it sends me back in time to this really, really fucked up thing that happened to me. The year Jason died, Halloween fell on a weekend. Me and my boys were too old for trick-or-treating, so we decided to cause a bit of a rumpus instead. You know, waking the dead, hollowing the eaves, cracking some jack-o'-lantern skulls and whatnot. All I could think of during football practice that day was what was going to go down that night. I love Halloween, man. Always did. Not the dressing up part, really. That was for pussies. Not the candy, either. We lived next door to this Italian bakery called Del Vecchio's, and Mrs. D always used to bring over piles of these sugar-dusted Zapolas and Wandies. I think she was afraid that the Reardons were going to choke on some dry soda bread or some shit. So if you're used to a cannoli with every meal, Milk Duds kind of pale in comparison. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I loved about El Dia de los Muertos was the way they would let all us kids run around, let loose and shit. It was just us in the dark, freaking each other out, equally convinced that something was about to creep up on us, and pretty sure that nothing would. And after my bedtime, whatever it happened to be that year, I'd stay up real late, looking out the windows at the older kids walking by, some of them not wearing costumes at all, but soaking up the freedom that the holiday gave them anyway. But that year, for the first time, I was the older kids. Not old enough to have a car, and let's face it, if you had a car, who needed Halloween? But old enough to stay out late enough to make things, you know, interesting. And with it being a Saturday and all, there wasn't much my parents could do but stand at the door, waving goodbye nervously as we crept into the night. It was going to be awesome. The anticipation was making football practice even more heinous than usual. Coach had us doing sprints because we'd lost the night before, 33-6, bucking up something royally against St. Ray's. Not that we could help it, those fuckers were fast and huge. They were way out of our league, but some asshole in the interscholastic league decided that per capita income per town was a better way of demarcating divisions than, I don't know, roid-spiked Pop-Tarts consumed each morning. Not that Coach Z saw it that way. Reardon, he screamed, don't think I don't know that you weren't out there chugging beers in Aqueduct Woods last night after the game. Let's see you sweat that alcohol. You boys think I don't know what you're up to? I have eyes and ears all over this city. You're athletes. Do you think Drew Bledsoe was out getting drunk last night after last week's game? No, he was thinking about this week's game. While getting his dick sucked, Kevin Frederick said to me under his breath. Tell me about it, I said. If Coach wants to hook us up with some post-game knobbies, I'll never touch another sip of alcohol in my life. I gave myself the sign of the cross as best as I could, seeing as Coach had up the ante by making us run with a helmet in each hand and the ball in the other. God, Coach Z was such a fuckwad. I'd never been so happy to hit the fountains. The The team limped to the locker room, but I made a detour to my regular locker first because I always put some Gatorade in there before practice so no one would steal it. And believe me, steal it they would. The water that Coach brought tasted so much like the old school containers it sat in, you would have thought that plastic was a fucking electrolyte or whatever. As I walked into the empty corridor, I let out a little whistle to push all the creepiness out of the space. Being in school on a Saturday just feels wrong. Like there's nobody there, you know there isn't, outside of maybe some math docs or whatever, who come in on the weekends to solve equations. But even when the place is empty, it's full. In fact, it feels even fuller when you're there walking down the hallway with 100 other kids. It's only when they're not there that you can see what a truly fucking heavy place it is, full of kids even when it's empty. In spite of it being balls and hot for October, my body was overcome with middle of the night in winter toilet bowl chill. I walked up to my locker and tried to open it, but for the love of Christ, I'd forgotten the combination again. Still stuck on last year's 38-24-18. Why was it so cold in here? There was no AC in the school that I knew of, and it was at least 80 degrees. After a few more tries, finally, bingo. I grabbed the bottle of Gatorade, slammed the door shut, gave the lock a quick spin, and ran as fast as I could after 2 hours of sprinting. And then I heard something weird, like footsteps running in another direction. I stopped in my tracks, swung around, but the sound was gone. Who's there, I called, but heard nothing but the echo of my own voice. Dumbass, I thought. It's probably just one of the other guys. Ever since some asshole broke into my locker and put his mail-order shrunken head inside, I've been acting like a total bitch. Still, when I have nightmares, and I have them a lot, it's always of this place. This place between locker and gym, between classes, between weeks. I never know my combination. I've forgotten to study. The bathrooms are filthy. I've forgotten my clothes. Someone's watching me. I'm all alone. I'm silent. There are echoes. I'm burning. I'm cold. I'm running fast. I'm stuck in place. Walking faster now, I started humming Sir Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back, completely convinced that anyone trying to kill me would be so amused by this choice that he set his bloodthirsty sights on some smooth jazz fan instead. It was only when I got to the gym and heard the sounds of my teammates that I knew the ordeal was over. I chugged the bottle of Gatorade, tossed it into the garbage can next to the bathroom stalls, and walked into the locker room. There was a line. Lots of days guys just wait to shower at home, but after practices like today, the faster you can get the grime off, the better. "What's up, Joey?" I said to our tight end, all terror forgotten. "Man, what the fuck is up with Coach today? It's like he's fucking possessed or something." "He's upset because Miss Leon tore down the banner in the gym," Lou DeSilva said. "Why did Miss Leon tear down the banner in the gym?" "Because Chiefs is racist, you know, to Native Americans. Miss Leon is trying to get them to change it. Even Coach wants them to change it. To what?" "Fuck if I know. So why is the Coach so pissed if he wants to change it too? Because Miss Leon called him a racist." "Oh, that's retarded. Coach Z's an asshole, but he's not racist. His wife is Chinese. Cambodian." "Whatever. Hey," said Rithasek Chan. "Don't get mad, Rithy, you know what I mean." "No, I don't, white boy. And anyway, how would you feel, Lou, if I called you Irish?" "I'd kick your ass." There was still like 10 dudes ahead of me, so I left the crowd waiting in line and slunk deeper into the locker room where it was quiet and cool. I lay down on the bench and stared up at the ceiling, which was chipping and peeling in all kinds of ways. I shut my eyes and listened to the sound of the water coming down, the other guys' voices a steady buzz beneath the drips. Before long, I was asleep. I was jolted back to the reality by the sound of my name. Ben, Ben. The soft voice rose above the showers and knocked me out of my brief slumber. I stood up, tightening my towel, and then nearly fell backward. Something was wrong. I couldn't see straight. It was like there was a thick fuzz in the room. I figured maybe I was just dehydrated or something, but wait, I just finished like a liter of Gatorade, so that wasn't it. I wondered if I had a concussion, so I held my hand up to my head. When I took it down, though, I almost lost it. Instead of its normal color, it was bright blue and, I don't know, kind of shimmery. The voices were gone, but the shower was still on, so I crept in there. Maybe if I just got under the water, I'd feel better. I walked into an empty stall and turned on the faucet, my right hand now bright red and shaking. I turned the water on and gave out a yelp, confused until I realized what was going on. I'd only turned it a little, cold. Mighty pleased with myself for figuring this out, I turned it a little more and felt a lukewarm rush of water flooding over me. I looked down and realized that I was still wearing my towel, which for some reason struck me as goddamn hilarious. I started laughing my ass off, took it off, and hung it on the door next to the curtain. "Who is that?" somebody called from the stall next to me. "Yeah, what's so fucking funny?" I didn't recognize the voice. The water was changing them somehow, absorbing them, making them bigger and growing right along with them. I looked down at my hands, which looked so strong all of a sudden, both true blue and really fucking beautiful if you got right down to it. They were the hands of a quarterback. "Fuck yeah," I said, "I'm the fucking king." "Ben, is that you? What's up, man?" Did I say that out loud? Fuck. Is that well, fuck it. "Yeah, it's me," I said, "and I'm the fucking king." "Whatever, man, if you're the fucking king, why'd you throw 3 interceptions last night? You're the fucking king, all right, the king of suck." I started to protest until I realized the voice had hit the nail on the head. I was the king of suck. I looked down at my hands and saw that they weren't strong and blue anymore, that they were withered and green. So I'll just skip ahead for a moment. My friend Danny comes over and helps me out, and he's the fucking king, man. He's the guy who caught my passes, and if I passed it to him more, we would have fucking won. But anyway, we go outside, and I see the offensive line, and I say to them, "You see my asses every week, guys, and I fucking love you for it. Seriously, man, you're fucking nice." "Dude, you're tripping," they said. "Yeah, man, what the fuck's wrong with you?" "What's he on" is more like it. "You alright, man?" Dan, fully clothed now, had run outside. He grabbed my arm. "No, Dan, it's like I'm losing my mind or some shit." I looked at him and saw that his face was twisted into something else entirely. What the fuck was wrong with me? And then it hit me. Larry was right. I was tripping. "Did you take anything?" "Nah, man, no, it's just, I'm tripping, man." What do you feel like?" "Well, right now I feel like everything's fucking funny one moment and the next shit, man. And there's this weird smell like something is burning." "Oh, you know my brain is on fire?" No. "How could you be tripping? You didn't take anything." "I know, that's the crazy part," I said. Dan shook his head. "Did you have any Robitussin this morning? I heard that stuff can mess you up." "Nah, man, all I had was some Gatorade, but I put it in my locker during practice. No one could have gotten it." Dan spoke slowly. "It's not that tough to get people's locker combinations," he said. "Anyone who works in the principal's office can get them. And hey, didn't someone break into your locker last year?" I started laughing, even though shrunken heads are far from funny. Still, the thought that the Herbs who worked in the principal's office would have acid was fucking laughable. Danny went on, "Hey, doesn't Jason Lane work the front desk? That dude is fucking tapped. He'd totally do something like this." I thought about it for a minute. It seemed like a good idea, but still fucking laughable, so I just sat there geeking. "Dude, why don't you get some clothes on? We can go back to my place and chill whatever till you sober up." So we head back to Dan's place, and he pretty much decides it is this guy Jason who did it to me. The thing is, I never really had beef with Jason. I made fun of that stupid shit he did to his ears with those big earrings. I clicked at him in Swahili and shit, but so did everybody else. Alright, and maybe once in class I didn't do anything when Gary Paola called him a pussy, when I should have told Gary to shut the fuck up. I'm bigger than Gary, but everyone's bigger than Gary, which is why he feels he's got to call everyone pussies. I mean, I can be a dick, but I'm not really that bad a guy. When we got back to Dan's house, I noticed there was no one there. "Where's your mom?" I asked, before collapsing on the floor and staring at the breathing carpet, and the plants waving back at me from the other end of the room. "She and Wally are in New Hampshire this weekend, foliage and whatnot." I tried to hide how much of a letdown this was, because the best part about being at Danny's was the fact that there was always a chance his moms would stop by. But I didn't feel bad for too long, because the second best part was Super Nintendo, and Mario and Luigi could give a shit about foliage. At first I thought my super heightened senses were going to make me the baddest Mario Kart race forever, but instead I just continued my reign as the king of suck. I was jonesing for the old school control pad when A and B, up and down, left and right, start and select were the only choices you needed to make. Now there was all this X and Y bullshit, and things were only going to get worse. I mean, I can remember the secret code for Contra that would get you 33 free lives, for Christ's sakes, and now speeding up and slowing down were too fucking complex. In the end, I threw the controller down and asked Danny if I could just watch him play. He laughed and said, "Sure. Can you maybe put on something a little, I don't know, like with elves or something like that? You mean something lame?" I started to say no, and then Danny started laughing. "I'm just kidding, Ben. If it's elves you want, then it's elves." Dan pulled out some quest game whose name I didn't recognize because I didn't play that shit all that often. Still, it was nice just sitting there with Danny, watching him set off into the woods. I closed my eyes and let the flute music creep up into me, finding it sounded a lot better than it ever had before. And I don't know, made sense of something. And then something weird happened. I was in Dan's basement, but I wasn't just in Dan's basement. The flute was playing, but it wasn't just the flute. It was dark and not dark. I was walking around and something was pulling me. I was moving and completely still. I was in the game and outside, in the woods, down by the reservoir, looking for something. Only that wasn't it. Something was looking for me. The fact that Dan had the control in his hands didn't mean shit. Someone else created the game, mapped out every possible route before we could take it. We could only follow. There were choices: into the sunlight, underground, home, but none of them our own, see? When I opened my eyes, I realized I never left Dan's couch. And it hit me, Dan's the one playing. I was just sitting there doing nothing, and that's when I knew I had to get out of there. I didn't know why, I just did. I told Dan I was going home. Dude, let me walk you. Nah, man, I slept it off. And before I could say anything, I was ghost. I had to do this alone. This was my quest, not Danny's. I didn't need him today the way I needed him out there on the field. It was just like what happened in video games. Jason was like a dude who lived in one of those straw huts that's hidden from view. The kind that you only find by doing something nice for somebody or by slaying a dragon. The dude working those shops isn't always cool, and he might not be giving you the treasure you deserve because he wants to, but if you've got the rupees, the dragon heart, the scroll, he's got no choice but to give it to you. Jason might have been trying to fuck with me, but all he'd been done was give me supreme fucking knowledge. There was something out there in those woods that somebody bigger than Jason wanted me to find. And Jason, man, fucking beautiful shaman wannabe with stretched out ears, fucking beautiful, man. Maybe he'd been in on it too. Maybe he hadn't cared that I called him a pussy once when we struck out at fucking softball in gym class. Maybe that's because he knew that was just the way the game started off. This is what I'm thinking as I'm riding my bike, no, flying my bike to the woods, ready to collect my treasure. It was getting dark outside, and all the little kitties were out, tiny pumpkins and pirates, all shiny, felt and glitter, angels, ball players, chickens, fucking beautiful, man. Every little kitty's so fucking beautiful. I want to pick them all up, and it's all little kids, and swing them around, and say, stay there, little guys, don't grow up, stay glowworms, stay goblins, stay goonies, stay freaks. Hold on tight to your little pumpkin pails and keep a lookout for the straw huts hidden behind the Volkswagens. That's where you get the good candy, none of this jolly rancher shit. I want fucking king-size Snickers like Mrs. Hughes gives out, because I don't care if Dan's better than me, because I am the fucking king. I am racing, and the woods are in sight, and all little kitties out at this hour dare go close. They got mommies on their back, daddies trailing behind in wood-paneled station wagons. They don't know that the real candy's out in the woods. They don't know that Rippy and Bean are rolling a keg in there. We're going to have the party of the year. We're going to wreak some serious havoc. I am flying, right, E.T. style, fearless, baby, dragon heart in the front of my basket. Except I don't got a basket. Fly, fucker, fly. Sun going down, kitties gone, trees there, still there. But when I go to trade in this dragon heart, I'm going to buy me some fire to burn them all down, to tear shit up tonight. I want to burn down these woods, because bad shit goes down here. Sean Pussy Riley getting his ad kicked. Stop, don't think of Sean, don't think of Sean. Dragonheart, Benny, Dragonheart, you are the fucking king in trading. And there are branches all around the ground, but at least it's dry, so my bike's still flying. No mud, too hot, trees are gonna burn. Dragonheart, firehead. Are the guys here early? Firehead. Homeless dudes? I pedal slower to the fire, which is really just smoke, and someone's sleeping next to it. One of my boys? No, it couldn't be. Too early for the woods, really. These woods are strictly 10 p.m. woods. It's fucking suicide to come into these woods any earlier than this, for real. Too risky with cops circling. Fucking asking for it, man. I'm closer, so close that I can smell the fire, and for a second, again, I think my brain's burning, but that's stupid, because the fire's right there in front of me, and I see that the dude is Jason, and he must have been waiting for me, ready for me to come into the clan of fucking shamans, and I'm half ready to offer up my earlobes for real, and I hop off my bike and call out his name, and he's still laying there, and I'm like, Jay, dude, what's up? But he's not moving, and something's wrong, because the smoke from the fire isn't just rising like it should be. It's swirling all over Jason like he's inside it or something. And I can hear the flutes, and I see bottles, pill bottles, 4 fucking pill bottles. 5 with no rupees, no fire, no blue bottles, no gilded shield, no enchanted map. Something's wrong, and I'm shivering, dragging hard, and I lean over and see that his eyes are shut, which is better than the alternative, but I lean over and hold my hand under his nose. Dragonheart, and there's so much smoke swirling over him, choking me, making me cough, and tons of it under his nose just standing there because there's no breath there to push it away. I back up, I start to run away, except I can't leave. I can't leave him there the way I left Sean years before. I can't leave him there, so I scream. I scream and scream and scream and scream, scream and scream and scream and scream. I scream until they find me screaming and burning and screaming and burning, my dragon hot, all dried up.